Classics. Look, classic Hollywood, whether it's movies, TV, radio, or what have you, the lost but fascinating pop culture. People know me, Hope Sears, as the person whose voice and face comes to light when I'm talking about the Marx Brothers. No, not Marxism, as many people in college thought. For shame. No, I'm talking about the people that know me as the girl who won't shut up about Dean Martin or Gene Kelly or randomly just knows everything about Don Rickles. I have produced stuff on YouTube for my old Television Rocks channel on YouTube. Yes, television is spelled wrong. I created it in the 7th grade. That will be a story for another time. Actually, no, let's tell it now. I created it really fast because in the 7th grade, and I was leaving a clip on a Dick Van Dyke Show episode. There you go. Didn't use it for years, then started posting things. Anyway, I use it now to talk about Ron Howard, Gary Marshall, Mae West, Don Rickles, John Daly, and other people. So I plan on talking about those people on this podcast and having different hosts from time to time, such as my friend Lizzie, who's also into old-fashioned pop culture. It's great. And also talking to just maybe people that are comedy fans that want to talk about Don Rickles or, that kind of thing. I'm also planning on interviewing people that may be related to some of these people that I'm talking about. That is going to come down the line because that's actually one of the reasons why I'm starting this podcast. I'm interviewing people like the author of The Bridesmaid's Daughter, Nina. Sorry, I'm coughing. And she's the reason why I wanted to do this podcast. Nina Giles, talking about the bridesmaid of Princess Grace Kelly, and model, Carolyn Rabel. She was a very famous model at one time, and now no one knows about her pretty much, and it's pretty sad. And her story is sad, and so I want to tell it, because I heard about it at a museum, a rinky-dink museum. I was there for the Dean Martin Festival, and I was the youngest person at this festival, but it's something I've been wanting to do for years, and I came away from that. The men that were there were so helpful, and they just loved that I was there on my own will, just wanting to learn, and they told me so many stories, but the one that stuck with me was of Carolyn's story. So I hope to get her interview. She said she was interested, so I really hope that she does, because it's the reason why I'm starting this podcast. And I'm also wanting to share with everyone, whether you are a 80, 50, 40 to my age, 20 or younger, why this is important. For people that are older than me, it's probably a nostalgic kick, and oh yeah, I remember this person. And if you're younger, I want to show you a whole new world, and I want to show you why it's still important, even if it's in black and white, and why you should care. And if you don't want to be labeled as millennial, then you might want to give a thought to talking about someone who is older, who, may even be your boss someday. About someone like Johnny Carson, who was on The Tonight Show for 30 years. And if you haven't watched Johnny Carson, know that 30 years is a long time to be on the air every night, pretty much. And how big of a deal he was. And how sad it is now that people don't care. And so know that someday people won't know who Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, or Chris Pratt is. And yeah, that's sad for all of those people. Because we're living in such a fast-paced world now, where before, TV, radio, and all of this, you had to write books, and you were able to stay alive in memory and through your books, and those people still are. And it's kind of hard to stay alive in people's memory and stay relevant, despite how much you've given to people. But I just hope that people understand the importance of a legacy and the importance of people once caring. Because there was a time in my life where I was very depressed, and I found solace in comedians. And so those people are dear to my heart. And so people like Steve Martin or certain TV shows, they matter to me. And they matter because they help me get through a difficult time. And I don't feel like those people should be forgotten. People that get you through the hard times should not be forgotten. So I want to extend their legacy, and maybe someday I'll be extending the people that are in pop culture right now's legacy.
Oh, thank you.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.